So welcome back, guys. We are going to study three-way pods, either in position or out of position. Here it's an ace high board, so I would say that we have to bet like 90%, just one third of the pot. Okay, 98%, so even more than that. Here probably some leading range. No, just 10%. And I don't think this. Well, yeah, so yeah, this hand we're going to check. We would only lead with 3 hearts, actually. I think we probably want to lead some percentage of the time, just 5%. Well, I don't think we have to fold a lot here. Okay, but we're mostly calling. Yeah. With our hand, I think it's an easy call there. Here, I think we have to check a lot here. Wow, really? I think with this hand we're going to bet, right? Yeah. And fold to a raise and check with aces. So we check with aces and we bet with the ace of hearts and we check fold. Okay, this is all the hands, sorry. Yeah, so here it's a fold. Seven deuce. I think we are going to bet very often with 1/3, even more, like 90% of the time. I think we have to check this quite often. Yeah, so I was wrong because we have to pot or check most of the time because it's very dynamic board. So here I would go for pot here. Yeah. Okay. Queen 8 4 4 8 queen. It goes check check. No, we are checking a bit more. With this particular hand, we're probably checking back. Yeah. Three, five, six. I think we want to bet quite often this. Yes, 60% of the time. Checking without a heart, I would imagine. Yeah. Okay, 3, 4, 7. Well, probably we want to call quite often. With this particular combo, we would just fold. 3, 5, 6. Because we want to call quite often. Yeah. We're almost never folding. We probably want to check or pot. Yeah, so we're almost never betting small here. Checking, I guess. Potting. Pot folding here. So yeah, I think the reasoning is that we have fives, so we are blocking a little bit the continuation range of our opponent, and we have some backdoors. Probably pot calling here. This is probably going to be similar. We're potting quite often. But we are checking a bit more often. Here I would just pot here. Yeah. Okay, 8, 5, 5. Check or 33. checking a bit more often. Here I would bet for sure, blocking the hearts with an 8. Okay, deuce 3 5, check or 33. That's very surprising. Okay, because maybe we do not hold 6-4. Yeah, and with H4 I think we're checking back. Yeah, I think that's it. So because we're checking with H4 and we're not holding many 4-6, then we have to check back a lot even when we have 4-6. No, we have to lead quite a bit. If he raises, then we have to fold, I would assume. No, we are calling. Okay, 8-6 deuce. I think we're going to check quite a bit, but if we're betting, we're probably potting. So we are just checking 25, and with this particular combo, I'm pretty sure we're potting. King, Queen, Jack. This is a hand that I think we have to check pretty often because he's holding probably more ace-10s than we do, although we probably have more kings and queens. So yeah, we are just leading 9% of the time. With ace-10, therefore we have to, maybe we lead 20 or 30% of the time with this particular combo. We are just leading 10% of the time. Ten jack jack, no 7, 10 jack. I think we have to check quite often this as well. No, we are donking quite a bit here. Yeah, okay, yeah, we are donking because he's not going to 3-bet on the button many ace 8, 9, 10 jack unless they are maybe double suited. So we probably have more. With this particular combo, I think we have to check fold because we're not blocking 8, 9 or 10 jack. 7, 7, 6. I think we have to bet very often, 1/3. Just 70% of the time. With this, I think we wanna bet right now, right here. If he raises us, we are probably folding. Yeah. 4, 10, 10. I think we wanna fold some and mostly call. Now we are folding a bit more and potting a bit more as well. doing folding and raising, I would guess. Folding, but 1 in 3 maybe raising. No, we are folding every single time. If we had ace jack 9 deuce, here we're raising 1/3 of the time because we are blocking a bit better the 9-10 jack. Okay. So here we're going to lead 30% of the time maybe. That's 9%. So here we're checking. Here I think we're going to see bet 1/3, 100%. That's 95%. Here I think that we're going to bet quite often. Just 50%. So with a 10 for sure we're going to bet like 80% of the time. 7, 8, 9. I think that we have to check this very often. Yeah, we are checking 87% of the time. This is a perfect hand to check back. Deuce 9, 10. If we bet, we're probably going to bet pretty big, I would assume. No, we are just betting 50% of the time very often here. Here I would pot though. Small. Well, yeah, I mean the problem is that if we are betting 50% of the time so often, then we have to mix our good hands. Also, we have to bet 50% with some of those hands. Here 10 jack jack. I think he can very well 3-bet with 8, 9, 10 jack, so I think we have to check very often here. It's a bit different if we were raising in early position. Well, we are leading 30% of the time. And with this particular combo, I think just check calling probably. Now we are racing. Okay, what if he goes all in? Folding, really? Okay. Calling very often, I would assume. Yeah, calling very often. 3, 4, 6. I think we have to check quite often, right? So we're probably going to check with this particular combo. You say 9. Yeah, we're checking quite often. I would check, really. Okay, now what do we do if he pots? Calling. Here it's a fold. Yeah, so raising quite infrequently. And with this particular combo, no backdoor diamond, just a gut shot, I think this is an easy fold. We do not hold many fives in our range, so we have to check quite often. This is a fold, I would assume. Use 5-10. Now we are folding very often. Oof. Probably folding here. Fold. Wow. I think we have to check this quite often, even because we are going to check back with ace 5 as well. With this we are checking. Now we are betting. Well, I think we have to check back very often, even with an ace. Just 20% of the time. How is that possible that we're holding aces on this spot? I would check back here. Just because we're checking back so often. So I probably want my opponent to catch up a little bit. I think we're going to check back quite often here. and with aces we would check back. Pretty weird. I would just 4-bet here with aces, I would assume. Okay, 4, 8, 10. I think this is a very coordinated board, therefore I'm going to check quite a bit, and if I'm betting I'm probably potting. Yeah, we are checking quite often. I'm betting 33% of the time. That's a bit weird, in my opinion. Well, maybe the combo 7-8-4 is not as coordinated. Okay, deuce 3-5. Just so 8-4-3, same concept applies probably. Well, no, we are potting quite a bit here. I think it's a pot. Seven, 8, queen. We are going to call quite a bit. Probably just folding on the flop, I would guess, without the hearts. With the ace of hearts as well, we are just folding. With 2 hearts, we are just raising. Even with aces and 2 hearts, we are just raising as well. Queen 8-6, I would assume that now we are checking a bit more often. And this is a bet for sure. Deuce 9 queen, I think pretty dry board. With 1 gut shot and aces, I would just pot here. Pot, I bet small. Okay. Think he doesn't have many 5-7s, and neither do we. With aces, I think betting 1/3 here. Yeah, we have to pair, so we just pot here. Deuce 5-10. I think we're going to check back quite a bit here. Well, now we are betting some. I think this is a perfect candidate to bet fold because our hand is terrible. We're not going to improve. So yeah, I think this makes for a nice bluff. That's because it's going to be too weak by the river. And yeah, so if we want to include some bluffs, we probably want to include some bluffs which do not have equity and which we do not care if they raises us. With 2 hearts, we would check back with ace 7-4 of hearts, for example. because we have a medium two-way hand, and with two hearts to the ace of hearts we're actually betting quite often. Yeah, I think we can lead here. We have more jacks 8 than our opponent. Yeah, but not that often. Here, I think this is a good candidate to bluff with the blockers, because our hand is not very strong, but at the same time, since we're holding nines and queens, we can bluff some cards on the turn. So we have queens, nines, and the ten. We need like 37% equity. We have the tens, the queens, the nines. Like 8 outs plus backdoor hearts. So this is enough to get it in apparently. Here we're folding some and mostly calling. We're just raising with this particular combo. Oh, we are one to call for sure. Jack, Jack 6. Here we are calling most of the time. Even folding only 16% of the time. With this combo, folding. Yeah, we're checking a bit more often here. But yeah, with this combo, which is so bad, we are apparently just betting. It's too weak to call, but has just a gut shot. Fortunately, we do not hold backdoors, straight draws, which would be nice. Actually, with backdoors, we are checking most often. Mostly c-betting, I would assume. No, mostly checking back. think we have to check back this a lot because we do not have many 3-6 with this combo. Just checking back and probably calling one. Jack Jack deuce, I think we have to check a lot. Check with these combos while we are not blocking the continuation range of our opponent. No, we are folding quite often here. Folding, calling. King Queen Jack, I think we can bet very often here. We have a lot of ace 10, I guess. No, I'm very wrong here. Ah no, sorry, we are on this position, so I thought that we were the preflop aggressor. Here I would bet probably 50 or 60% of the time. No, we are checking very often. So we are betting this one because we are not blocking king, queen or jack. If we had like ace 10, 9, 8, with ace 10, 9, 8 we're checking, but with two tens we are betting because we believe our opponent is not going to bluff with a 10 on his hand, probably because since we are holding two tens. Okay, king jack 9, this is a board that we should check. Oh, we are always calling here apparently. DS3 7. So I'm very wrong here. We are betting almost always. 5-5-3. Well, I guess we want to check very often here. Bet with the blockers probably. Here we can bet 40 or 50% of the time, maybe. No, 100% of the time. Yeah. Okay. King 7-5. Sorry, we are out of position. If we had king 9-8, I think we would 8-6. Now we would check very often. And with king 8-8, now we are checking as well quite often. 6-7-10, 6-7-10. Oh. Calling almost always and raising, folding. Here I think that since we're not blocking the 8, 9, 10, maybe calling here. Yeah. With the ace jack 9 queen, we would raise for sure. I mean, ace jack 9 queen. No, we would call apparently. No, we are checking very often here. Yeah, sorry, we are checking because this board is going to connect with the 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of hands that the button is opening. Pretty dry board. I would see that quite often. Yeah, sorry. I think here it's a check without the hearts. Do you say 9? I think we want to no, 46. We're connecting a bit more with the 10 jack queen king, because that's one man is not going to have a lot of those. Let's say we bet, and what is the small blind going to have in 9, 10 jack? Yeah, probably double suited, but he's not going to have like 6, 8, 9, 10, for example, or 5, 8, 9 queen, 5, 8, 9, 10. Maybe 6, 8, 9, 10 double suited. And what about 10 jack queen king? Yeah, 10 jack queen king double suited, he's going to have those apparently. Okay, jack for 3. We want to check back quite often, this even more than that. So we're checking with this particular combo. King king 6. We are almost always calling, I would say. Yeah, we are almost always calling. Raise. What the fuck? This looks surprising, but we're calling with 2 hearts. Okay. Because maybe we want a queen. Yeah, so we want a queen of hearts jack to fold, probably. Deuce 3 5 3 4. I think we have to check back because we do not hold many 5-6s. I think we can bet this 40% of the time. We have some 4-5s. No, 40% of the time. So we would bet this particular combo. 10 jack queen. I think that we want to check this a lot because he has more ace kings than we do. Check. 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 Even with this particular combo, I would check back. Okay, 5-5-3. I think that here we are supposed to bet very often because our opponent is not that likely to have a 5. No, apparently we're checking back just a little bit more because he was raising on the button, so he may have some 5s on his range. If this was against an early position raise, I would say that we would see bet almost 100% of the time. With this particular combo, I think we have a medium, kind of mid-ish hand, medium draw. So I think we're okay. So we are betting because we do not have a made hand, I guess, with king, king, queen 6 and hearts. We would bet actually as well. Well, since we're c-betting that often, I guess we can include those hands into our range. The thing is that here, do I pot? No, we're folding. Yeah, we need like 40% equity, so. Okay, 9, 10 jack, he passed, now we can bet 30% of the time maybe. This is a board that he should c-bet a lot, so. And I guess that apparently we're betting with any 10 on our hand. we don't have a king. Yeah, so we're betting quite aggressively with a 10 as blocker. I wouldn't fold too much and I would call very often. Apparently we're raising some here. A raise. Okay, this looks bananas to me, but I mean, there are no draws up there. I don't understand this, but deuce 6-7. I think yeah. So checking quite a bit and potting quite a bit as well. So here this would be a weird checking. All right. I think we have to check 100% here. Deuce 3-5. I think we have a small leading range. 25%. This has to be a check. Check. No, check. 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 I think we're going to bet 50% of the time with this particular hand because we're blocking the 6 and our 8s are too bad. If this was like a king's 8-6, now we are checking back, but with 8s it's just too weak to call. Okay, 7-8, 10 here. I guess we are mostly calling apparently 7-8. Yeah. I would expect here to bet or check. No, we are betting 50% quite often. Yeah, because it's not that dynamic a board here. Here 7, 10, 10. I think we have to check this back a lot because we do not hold many tens in our range. No, sorry, we are in this position, so I think we can. Yeah, that's 50% of the time. Here, without hearts, we are blocking a little bit with the 9, but I don't think that's enough to bet. Here we have a medium made hand, so it's an easy check back. Check back, we're not blocking very well. Check back, I guess. Here I think I would bet blocking with a jack. Yeah, the problem is if they raises us, what do we do? Just folding. By the way, if we had something like ace jack jack 4-3 with hearts, nowhere. I guess is check, but if we had ace jack jack 4, now we are betting. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Here sorry, this was like 50%. Here deuce 4-4. I think we maybe 30%. Yeah, we have some force in our range, more than our opponent for sure. But with this sun is check back, check back, check back. Here I think that we're blocking a little bit the 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of hand, so I think I would just bet. This is probably too weak to call a turn bet. No, we are checking. We're betting some of the time, so it's not a terrible mistake, I guess. This is very weak, so I'm checking. Here we're holding a 5. No, we are checking. So checking, betting. Yeah, so I think that the idea here is that we're going to check back almost all pairs, bet some fours, and also bet some hands which are blocking our opponent from having a 4, like this 6, 7, 9 king, because we're blocking our opponent from having 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of hand. Here this has to be a bet. Here we're checking back with our tens. Bet 6, 9, 10 queen. I don't think we can bet this because we do not have too much backdoor equity. Here we have a pair, so we are checking back. We have 7s. Our pair is very bad, but we are not blocking that much of 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess. Check. So if we had like 5, 6, 7 king, I think this is a perfect candidate to bet. Yeah, either with or without backdoor. So yeah, just keep this in mind. Okay, 3, 4, 7. It's very unlikely we have 5, 6, so I think we have to check. to call this a lot. Yeah, Jack Jack 6. Yeah, betting pretty often, I would assume. No, that's 50-50 apparently. So here, no, we're betting. But pretty mixed here. King, Queen, 8. I think that we are going to call this a lot because our opponent is more likely to have kings than we do. So because of this, we are supposed to call quite often and not raise with kings. Yeah, so for example, this is a call or just a fold. This is just a call, call, maybe blocking a little bit the queen, but we would fold an ace 4-5 because we are not blocking the second pair. And with kings, I think we are actually going to call quite often and pots just 1 in 3 times, just because we are calling so often with all our range. Okay guys, so that was it. Have fun and see you later.